Hey guys, I'm Benny. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're just going to be talking about some of the most basic techniques that you can learn to start writing your own chord progressions and improvising on the piano. So we're going to get an effect that's something like this. Okay, so let's look at how I have achieved that sort of sound. We're going to start actually with the key that we're working in, which is C major. So if you're new to the piano, C major is just all the white keys. So starting on C. So we're just going to go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. I'll do that again. Okay, so from there, we can just start building actual chords in this key. So to build the most simple triads, which means a 3-note chord in C major, all we're going to do is we'll start on C itself. There's going to be 7 chords, as we'll find out, which correspond to the 7 notes in the scale. So we'll start with C itself, and all we're going to do is play C. And remember, we're in C major, so this is all the white keys. We're going to play C, and then we're going to skip one note, and then play the next note, which is E. And then we're going to skip another note, which is F, and then play the next note, which is G. So this is called a C major triad. And we follow this same formula going up through the key, the scale. So we'll get, the next one we'll get is D. And then skip a note, play a note, which is F. Skip the next note, which is A, and then play G. So we get this chord, which is called D minor. And then we can keep doing the same thing all the way up the scale. So we're going to get, so this is E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and then this last one's a bit weird, but just stick with me. This one's called B diminished. It's actually a chord that you wouldn't use very often. So yeah, we've now got these 7 chords in C. So C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and then we're back at C again. So straight away, we can use these chords to just write a little chord progression. So the one that I've come up with that I played in the intro is it's like this. So C major, E minor, F major, G major. So in terms of numbers, which is how we often describe this stuff, this is like the 1 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. So I'll just play that again. So now we've written a chord progression in C major, we can start to improvise. So the key that we're in again is C major, so this is all the white keys. So with our right hand, we can just play any of the white keys, and that will work over these chords because they're in the right key. So let's try that. So I did mess up the chord progression a little bit there, but you get the idea. So yeah, you can play around with these 7 chords and start to write your own chord progressions. We'll now move to something slightly more advanced. But if that's something you feel you need to practice, then you can stop the video here, practice those 7 chords and practice just improvising over them. Write your own chord progressions. There's some quite common ones, which are like 2, 5, 1. So that would be D minor, G major, C major. Another common one that you might hear is like a 1, 4, 5. So that would be C major, F major, G major. But you can do anything, right? So you can play with these 7 chords and rearrange them in various orders. And then you can use your right hand to kind of either improvise or maybe more specifically write a melody that you like. Okay. So now that we understand the triads in C major, we're going to move on to the 7th chords. So the formula for these is quite similar. So we're going to start on C again. And all we're going to do is play a note, skip a note. So I'm skipping the D. So I'm going to play E, skip the F, and then play G. So that's C major, as we had before. The new thing we're going to add is what's called the 7th of this chord. And all we're going to do is skip another note, which is the A, and then play the note after that, which is B. So we get this kind of thing. And then we're going to do the same thing, and this is going to give us 7 chords, 7 7th chords, which are in C major. So if we start on D, we're going to play D, skip the E, play the F, skip the G and play the A, and then skip the B and play the C. So we get this chord, which is D minor 7. And we'll keep going, doing the same thing. So starting on E, skip the F, play the G, skip the A, play the B, and then skip the C, play the D. We get this chord, which is called E minor 7. And then same thing on the F. So this is F major 7. And then we'll do the same thing on the G. So again, I'm just skipping every other note, right? So this is called G7. This is a slightly different chord. We'll talk a bit more about chords in a later video, but for now, that's called G7. This next chord, again, we're just skipping every other note. This is A minor, this chord. And then we get onto the weird one, starting on B. Again, the formula's the same. That's the important thing here, is that we're just skipping every other white key. But we get this sort of sound, which you can hear has a lot of tension. It's called either B minor 7 flat 5 or B half diminished. They mean the same thing. And then eventually we get back to our C major 7. So I'll just run through those again quickly. You've got C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, A minor 7, B minor 7 flat 5, and then we're back at C major 7. So all we're going to do now to get the kind of sound that you heard in the intro is to upgrade our chord progression, which, if you remember from earlier in the video, was 1, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to upgrade that to 7th chords. So instead of playing C major, E minor, F major, G major, we're going to play C minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7. And you can hear, like, straight away, like, it's just got a little bit more interest. There's a little bit more kind of complexity, both in terms of like the amount of notes we're playing, but also just the kind of emotional feel of it. It tends to be a bit more, a bit less obvious in some sense. It's got more kind of nuance to it. So all we're going to do is just have a little jam over this 1, 3, 4, 5 progression, but using the 7th chords, and then that'll be it, guys. All right. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I've been Benny. This has been your piano lesson. We'll cover some other keys in a future video. So this has been all in C major. But if you're watching and you're learning, have a play with these concepts in C major, and I'll show you how to apply them in different keys in a future lesson. Thanks for watching.